This is what I learned from my mum actually.
Do you like it when your sons are cooking?
Proud moment that is for us.
I like the gentle sizzle as the ghee meets that koki and the pan. And also because that koki has been roasted dry, it's now greedily lapping up all that tuppa, all that ghee.
We have dal pakwan.
And now that crunch of that aloo tuktu is quite prominent against the velvety backdrop of that Sindhi kadi. Sindhi mutton. You barely need to work your teeth when it comes to that mutton.
This is the same mithai.
It's as softened into that khoa. Certainly is a gulab jamun that's quite soft. Namaskara folks, this is Kripal Amanna, Gourmet on the Road, and you're watching Food Lovers TV. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're staying safe and strong. This afternoon we've arrived at Seshadripuram in West Bengaluru, where a young chef is dishing out Sindhi food and more. Hello.
Hi. Sagar here.
Sagar.
Yeah, hi Kripal.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good.
There's a partner as well, Akhil. Hi. So
Hi,
we
Akhil.
We are the chefs behind the scene.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And how old is your place?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah. Both of us are trained chefs.
Okay.
We've specialized in Sindhi cuisine. We started off initially with Chinese and North Indian being the part of the menu.
Okay.
Eventually we realized that Sindhi is something that's been asked for because we both are Sindhis. So we come from that background. I was working in Shangri-La.
Okay.
And I worked in Fuzzy Cafe as well, UB City. Which
Oh,
is
wonderful. It's a quiet day today in the restaurant.
We are mainly into catering and parcel orders. So dine-in is so new to us that still people haven't adapted to the situation where they want to come and eat here.
And our own customers are so used to us sending the food home.
Yeah.
Are more into bulk, so they prefer ordering it home so they can have it in their own comfort zone.
It's been a while since I've tasted some Sindhi food, so I said instead of calling for the food, let me visit them here, take a look at what Agni Sagar
Right.
kitchen is all about, and also whilst in the course of that, taste some nice Sindhi pakwan. What do we have in Sindhi fare here? Dal pakwan?
We have dal pakwan, we have curry chawal tuk, we have Koki as well, which is a Sindhi flatbread which is made with onion and coriander and stuff. Sindhi mutton for the non-vegetarians as well. We have a chicken option as well for people who don't prefer mutton from the gamey aspect of the taste.
But the thing to have is the mutton, right?
Mutton.
Because it's slow cooked, right?
Absolutely. Bhugal is the word where you cook it slowly and brown it, basically brown the
तो
onion.
भूनना उसको.
Curry is like a tomato basin curry, and there is a accompaniment going with that, which is the tuk. Tuk is a double fried potato. Basically.
That's right. So you fry it first and then you flatten
You
it a
flatten
bit.
it and then you again refry it.
And then you add some spice blend to
Spice
it.
blend to it, yeah.
Wonderful. Well, all that talk about food has certainly got my taste buds going. Can we take a look at the kitchen and see what's
Absolutely.
cooking?
Yes, please.
Wonderful. Oh, so all that is from your catering?
Yeah, that's from the catering.
So you look at those chafing dishes, you know that they are doing a lot of catering. So this is the kitchen.
This is the kitchen.
So what's all this out here? This is for the dal pakwan.
So that's the dal pakwan. We have the pakwan fried and kept here. Right now what I'll be showing you is the koki. The flat bread which has a lot of flavorings of onion, coriander. It's like a paratha but it's not a paratha.
It's crispier, right?
It's more khasta. So first we have the atta here, that's wheat flour, to which we'll be adding salt. Give it a gentle mix.
And some jeera.
Sabut jeera, yeah.
Some cumin that goes in.
Yeah. After that we have our ghee here. The flavors of koki comes out when it's eaten with ghee. It's a heavy, rich bread,
Wonderful.
So there goes in about a tablespoon of ghee. Just give this a good mix. This is basically for the shortening of the dough.
So you want it to be a little crumbly, is it?
Crumbly, right. The spice comes absolutely only from the green chili in this, and a good amount of green chili goes inside.
So do Sindhis like their food spicy?
Not really. There's no other spice mix going to the koki. So the only spice that's coming is from the green chilies. some freshly chopped onion. That's where the good, mouthfeel of this will come from.
So Sindhi food does include a fair bit of onions.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that becomes also the base for some of the, like the mutton curry. That's the base, right? Mostly the onions.
The brown onion is the base.
And some coriander
Some
leaf.
freshly chopped coriander leaves. We're just gonna like crush it with the hand so that everything, the onion starts releasing the moisture. When it starts, mixing with the salt, you will see the dough will not roll out smoothly. There will be cracks towards the ends, and that's what will make it khasta when you cook it on the tawa. Add in water little by little because we don't want the dough to be, extremely soft. So the whole motive of this is just to bind the complete atta. The powder shouldn't remain. It should just form into a tight dough. We don't want the gluten to be activated basically.
So you don't want this to be stretchy?
We don't want it to be stretchy.
Okay.
So as you see, the dough is almost combining together. We're just going to add a little more water just to get it together.
So these are recipes that you picked up at home?
Yeah, this is what I learned from my mum actually. The Sindhi cooking comes from my mum.
Yeah.
Because this is not what we were taught when we were in culinary school and learning stuff.
Although I wish they paid a lot more attention to some of these regional cuisines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The dough has come together. Dough is not smooth. There's a texture to the dough. And that's
Correct.
what we need inside the dough.
Quite embellished with the onions, the green chilies, the coriander.
Right.
So Koki is like any time of the day
You
snack.
can have it at morning for breakfast, you can have it for lunch, or you can have it for dinner. It works at all times of the day.
Wonderful. And a dal pakwan would be what? A breakfast thing?
Dal pakwan and mutton is something that's usually made on Sundays. In the morning, they wake up late and all tired from their weekly work. Sunday ko achhe se they eat dal pakwan in the morning, heavy breakfast. And lunch is again after 2:30, aram se late lunch, where Sindhi mutton, if he's a non-vegetarian, along with some nice white rice or buga rice. Buga rice is again brown onion rice.
Brown onion rice.
Yes.
Wonderful.
So that's eaten together. Get us something like a circle, but not a circle. So that's it.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be the size and thickness of the koki, a little more than half an inch. You're just going to make a few slashes on this so that the ghee seeps in when you're cooking it. And since it's thick, the heat has to travel all the way till the inside.
And this is fried in ghee.
This will be toasted and roasted in ghee.
Wonderful. All the good things that I like. So this is cooked on a iron tawa, is it?
Yeah, iron tawa preferably because the heat has to travel. The slow cooking of koki is what will make it nice and khasta. Koki on the tawa now. We're going to cook this first without any oil or ghee. The heat has to transfer well till inside. If you start with the ghee, it will remain kacha from inside. Gently going to flip it over.
Oh, I love the manner in which it's already got a nice toast.
So the whole technique lies into this, where you keep pressing the koki so that the heat is just entering it completely from the bottom and the top as well. So this will help it cook the center. We're slightly going to poke it, dock it a bit. It's getting ready for the ghee to enter in.
Wonderful.
So we're going to turn it again. And now we'll be adding in the ghee. We're going to smear it all around. Again, keep pressing it so that all the gashes and docks we made into it kind of seeps in, the ghee seeps into it. We're going to flip it now. And the same thing applies to the second side.
I like the gentle sizzle as the ghee meets that koki and the pan. And also because that koki has been roasted dry, it's now greedily lapping up all that tuppa, all that ghee. Sagar here is making sure that that ghee penetrates all the way into the thickness of that flatbread, of that koki.
We're going to turn it and you will see the nice color on it.
Wow. So do you normally wait for it to cool down or do you eat it hot?
You can eat it hot because the moment you remove it, it's nice and crispy. You want the crispiness of the koki to, come into the mouth.
You know what I'm hinting at.
Yeah. There's a small piece that's breaking for you, I guess.
Oh, wonderful.
This is the first bite which is waiting for you. Koki is had with papad, curd and achar.
Sindhis love papad.
Sindhis love their papad.
Why is that?
I don't know the reason behind it, but that's what we've been taught, Every meal needs to have papad along.
I love that thick cross section. Nice and toasted on the outside, perhaps a little soft inside. Very comforting. I've got the flavor of the jeera in that. On the outside, it's crisp.
Right.
On the inside, it's quite, for want of a better word, crumbly.
Crumbly. Right.
There's a bit of that grainy bite to it and a bit of the moistness of the onions. It feels certainly like a dish that's very comforting. So this is like fika curd, right?
Yeah, fika curd.
What achar is this?
This is a mixed mango pickle.
And take a bit of the papad.
Papad.
And eat it together.
Just have it together.
Oh, nice. I've got a nice...
Sandwich made out of it.
yeah, I was just going to... You stole that word from me. I've got a nice sandwich of the papad, koki, with some of the mosru and the uppinkai. Now I get it.
When we were small, this is the only breakfast that could be easily made and quickly made. So our mums used to just, pack it and send it. And it used to be done in like minutes of opening the box. We used to never eat it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was our, schoolmates and everybody used to finish our tiffins.
And speaking of their moms are also right here in the restaurant. So all these recipes are yours.
Yes.
So it's nice to have your mums supporting and rooting for you guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even sometimes if we make some mistakes here, the first person we call each other, after that we call our mom.
Mums.
Like,
Yeah.
how do we rectify this? And they always have some or the other solution.
Absolutely, yeah.
Nuske.
Yeah.
Ghar ke nuske,
Garke
correct.
nuske. I can now also taste a bit of the heat. I think that
The
pickle is
would
quite
have given us
spicy.
heat, yeah.
So good, so comforting.
Right.
वो खा के ऐसे लगता है कि it's good for you.
Yeah, it is. It is. एक कोकी खा लिया तो बस पूरा दिन भाग सकोगे. Filled with ghee, atta, and all healthy stuff.
Wonderful.
So we're putting ghee first into this. We'll have some khada masala going in with some jeera.
So you're basically flavoring the ghee with the cumin, with some cinnamon, bay leaf, and cloves.
I'll be adding some chopped brown onions.
The brown onions are combining nicely with the ghee, with the tuppa. There's also a bit of the aroma that you're now beginning to savor.
Some tomato puree. That's one of the main. The sweetness of the tomato and onions is very important for this. It gives a very tangy, sweet taste. It's not very spicy.
Do you add anything in that tomato puree? Any seasoning?
It's just boiled tomatoes.
Just boiled tomatoes and puree. Local tomatoes.
Yeah. I'll just be adding some stock now to that.
Some meat stock.
Some Kashmiri red chili powder, some dhania powder, some garam masala, there's jeera powder, little haldi, spicy red chili powder. Because there's no spice agent in this. We'll be adding the mutton now.
So this meat's already cooked.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And just top it up with a little brown onion. So this stays on top.
So you're tasting that savory sweetness of the onion.
Yeah.
Is it done?
Yeah.
Can't wait to get back to the restaurant and taste that Sindhi mutton. Well, we were just finding our way out of the kitchen and we spotted some aloo tuk.
Aloo tuk.
That's been freshly prepared.
Right.
What's in the masala?
Red chili powder, coriander powder, chaat masala, and jeera powder, salt.
Oh, okay.
All this is gonna go inside it right now on top to give it a nice coating.
So there's some amchur in that?
There's amchur as well.
So that's where you get a slightly sour,
Right.
khatta sort of a twang to that masala. Namaste. So we saw all these recipes being cooked. वो सारे आपके हैं?
Kind of both us.
Both your recipes.
Plus they have upgraded it to even more after that.
Lovely. So what are your names?
I'm Kajol Chawla, Akhil's mom.
Kritika Kataria. Do you like it when your sons are cooking?
Proud. Proud moment that is for us. You must be seeing how we are admiring them.
I saw them from a distance. Of course, I could see them happy, but I think they were also at a certain level seeing if they were trained right.
No, we are confident about
Yeah?
it. But yes, we are proud.
Wonderful. And you've lived in Bengaluru
I mean, yeah, after marriage.
after marriage. Okay, wonderful. Where do you come from originally?
Guntur.
Oh, Guntur.
Mithai.
The land of the spicy chili. So is Sindhi food spicy or is Sindhi food gentle?
Some things are spicy, some things are
Medium.
right for the palate, so it depends.
Lovely. And where do you come from?
Tamil Nadu.
Tamil Nadu. So you speak Kannada, Tamil,
Telugu.
Telugu.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So well, when you come here and you taste the Sindhi food, it's not the recipes that these boys picked up in college, but it's the recipes that they picked up from their mums that they've probably been tasting over years.
Right.
तो ये रेसिपी सारे आपके पेरेंट्स की भी होंगे.
Obviously, from forefathers, all the ancestors.
Wonderful. So once in a while, do you also make the boys cook at home?
It's a tough job, but yes, we do it.
But Sagar does cook
He
it.
does.
I cook.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
I cook every day almost.
So I'm not allowed in the kitchen.
So it's not the cooking, but it's the effect, the cleaning after the cooking.
After cooking effects.
Correct. Here he has help.
There we are the help.
Fantastic. On that note, let's get to the table and taste the Sindhi food here. What do you call for food in Sindhi?
Khado.
Khado. Let's get to the table and taste the Sindhi khado here at Agni Sagar Kitchen.
Right.
Thank you. So there's a lot of food on the table.
Right.
All the dishes that we saw the chefs prepare. So we of course have the dal pakwan here, Sindhi mutton curry, two nice soft fulkas with it, the koki that I've already eaten into. We have some of that aloo tuk and the Sindhi curry and chawal. So tell me, is there an order in the manner that you consume these things?
We finish it off with the rice. Curry and rice is something that's like rasam and rice for people. You just finish your meal with that.
Okay,
You can start off with the dal pakwan maybe first, since you've already tasted the koki.
fantastic.
So usually this is had for the breakfast as well.
And so typically you take the pakwan and then you smear the dal over
Right.
it.
So there are two ways of having it.
Ah.
So it's like, there are two contradictories always.
Okay.
If you want to dip your idli or you want to have it separate. So this is the same thing that comes with
So the
dal
equivalent
pakwan as
of the pakwan dip.
Yeah.
well. Or having the dal on the pakwan.
See, every culture has its own dilemmas.
So I'll help you out. Put some dal on the plate.
Lovely. I like the manner in which that dal is sabut.
And then there is chutney going on top. There's a mithai and imli chutney again. So we put some chopped onions.
Some nimbu.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm tasting the flavor of the ajwain in that. The dal is very comforting. It's got just the right balance of that slight heat from that green chutney, little bit of sweet sourness. I also like the fact that the dal, although it is sabut, it is still quite creamy the moment you bite into it. So this is a combination of both the whole dal and also some pureed dal that's gone into it.
Yeah, a little.
Huh?
So we want to serve homely food. It shouldn't be very heavy on the masala. So there's hardly any masala that goes into this.
Main flavor just comes from the tadka we put into, So even if you see the mutton or the dal or the curry, the flavor just pops out from the tadka we add initially in the oil or the ghee.
Even this pakwan is quite tasty by itself.
Right.
So do people also eat the pakwan just by
Yeah,
itself
yeah.
with some chai?
Yeah.
So some
yeah,
people-
evening you can just have it like a snack.
The flavor is almost a bit like a matri.
Matri,
Yeah.
right?
No?
Yeah.
Very close.
Oh, very nice. To me, this dal here is simple yet oomphed up with those chutneys. And I think that's what's interesting. So you've got the wholesome, nourishing flavor of the dal that's been uplifted by the chutney. A little more of that chutney to my dal. Maybe a little more spice this time. And some of the onions. Give it a nice mix and help it onto that pakwan. So good. For those of you who have not eaten a dal pakwan, just picturize a creamy chana dal in a chaat sort of a format. because it's got all the things that you'll find in chaat. It's got the crunchiness, it's got the flavors, it's got a bit of the thikapan that comes from the green chutney, it's got that spicy sour flavor that comes from the tamarind chutney, and then of course you've got that moist crunch of the onions and a little bit of the sourness that comes from the lime. I'm also liking the freshness that comes from the coriander. So good. I think we'll taste some more of that Koki. I've already tasted in the kitchen when it was hot. Now of course it's cooled down a bit. So it's like a thick paratha. Got a bit of the crispiness on the outside. On the inside it's quite soft, quite darara, quite grainy because of the ghee that goes into it. Get some of the papad and a bit of the yogurt and just a dab of that uppinkai. So good. This is the sort of food that the chefs Sagar and Akhil have grown up on. This is the food that their mums have fed them over the last many years, and that's exactly what they bring to the table here in this restaurant. On that note, I'm going to make tracks to that Sindhi mutton. That's a dish that certainly feels quite weighty with the onions, the tomatoes, and the key here is the brista or the caramelized onions. I want to get a bit of that gushi, a bit of that curry. I want to taste just that thick gravy by itself. I'm certainly tasting that sweetness that comes from the fried onions and also the tang of the tomatoes. What I want to get now is one of that pulka. That pulka is nice and soft, has cooled down a bit. Super. I also like the texture of that mutton curry. So I'm told that if you eat with fulka, this is the texture. And if you're eating it with rice, perhaps it'll be a little more runnier. But I love the flavor of that masala. Let's make tracks now for that mutton. That mutton is nice and soft. You barely need to work your teeth when it comes to that mutton. In a Sindhi home, they would cook this mutton curry low and slow. But out here in a restaurant, they don't know when the orders come, so they basically cook the mutton in that masala and keep it aside. And then when an order is called out, they assemble the mutton along with the tomato paste, along with the onions and some of the spices like the bay leaf, the cloves and the cardamom that goes into it. I think what you need to do when you taste this mutton is basically ensure that you get a generous amount of the masala. Just to reintroduce that masala to that mutton like you would taste in a Sindhi home. When I tasted the mutton by itself, it felt a little lighter in its flavor, but when you combine it with that masala, with that gashi, that's when the magic happens. If you love your mutton, this is certainly a dish that I would recommend. It's not for somebody who likes a very spicy preparation. There is a warmth, the warmth that comes from the red chili powder, but that's only enough to complement the slightly sweet flavor notes of the fried onions, that slightly sweetish sour twang of the tomatoes. That's all that the red chili does to complement. So you basically taste it only in a bit of a linger of its warmth on your tongue. Quite nice. Masala in that Sindhi mutton is almost a bit jammy in its texture. Certainly the sort that compels me to reach for another piece. So when you order a portion of the Sindhi mutton, you get about 5 or 6 pieces of the lamb. So as you can see, the mutton is cooked in a bit of that masala. So what you need to do is introduce it to a little more of that onion, tomato, chili and sabut spice mix. So good.
So you made some baos, you know. 3 flavors of baos which we have got for you. There are 2 flavors which have the South Indian flavor to it, Chinese filling as well. This is a leafu chicken. There is spring onions, palak, coriander and all going, and we make a sauce out of it.
And that's a ghee roast.
That's the ghee roast bao.
So out here it's not just a Sindhi food, but they began with
The Oriental and
Oriental
North
food.
Indian food.
To be honest, I'm quite happy just sticking to the Sindhi cuisine because that's what I came for. But they've already made these baos, so let's give it a shot. And that's what I
Bellari chicken that is fried, tossed in a nice curd and coconut based sauce with green chili flavor, and towards the end we just coat it with egg.
So there's plenty of the curry leaf that's crested atop that Bellari chicken bao. There's also a drizzle of mayo that I'm told helps balance things here. tugs in a very different direction altogether. I'm tasting plenty of the curry leaf in that. Of course, I think what happens also sometimes it's also with the context. Your palate had just settled with these very gentle flavors, and suddenly this almost comes as a vicious assault on your taste buds. But having said that, it's a tasty bao. There's a bit of the crunch that I'm tasting in the chicken that's
It's
been
because of the
deep-fried.
frying.
And loads of the flavor that comes from the curry leaf and also the heat from the green chili.
So there are like 3 flavors you will find, prominent in this bao. One is the curry leaf, one is the coconut, one is the green chili, and one is the...
I think the creaminess that you get, that's probably from the egg.
Yeah.
Also a bit of that lip smacking sort of a
Right.
feeling that you get.
Sticky feel kind of.
I guess the coconut milk also helps in making it quite creamy.
Creamy.
This time around the Chinese flavor just to break things on my palate. This is a nice desi Chinese hit with a ginger garlic paste. Take a bite of that ghee roast bao.
So this is the paneer.
Oh, this is a paneer?
Yes.
The ghee roast paste is quite khada in its flavors. Do you make it or do you procure it?
We make it.
You make it?
We make it here.
Quite spicy. In fact, of all the 3 baos that I've tasted, this is the spiciest. Oh, I can also feel that chili sear my lips now.
We were still in the cooking process of the paste. This will get even more toned down once the paste is completely cooked.
Time now to get to the kadhi chawal. The way to eat the kadhi is hot.
Hot.
Bisi irbeko.
The vegetables is called wakar. So there's cluster beans, there's drumsticks, and there's bhindi. These are the 3 main vegetables that go into a Sindhi curry.
Yeah?
Yeah. So you have it with this.
Oh, I'm supposed to take this and break it.
Small pieces. Like how you have your bisi flavor with something on top.
Ah, something crunchy.
Yeah, so this is very similar to that.
But normally I would just eat it on the side. Oh, I didn't know this. So you got to break the aloo tuk. Is that enough? Aloo tuk? Or
Yeah, that's good.
More than enough. I'll have the crunch around the edges of that aloo tuk. On the inside it's quite creamy. Ah, busy there. Nothing like hot food and nothing like touching your food when it's hot. I like the flavor of the jeera that I'm tasting in there. Also a bit of the sourness that comes from the tomato. And this is a long grained rice. So the sort that lends itself very well to being mopped up with that curry. So the drumsticks here are the sort that are quite tiny. Not exactly tender, but the sort that are quite small in their size. So the bhindi they deep fry first before they add into the curry, because otherwise the bhindi will probably just dissolve into that curry as it cooks and also perhaps alter the taste of that curry. So this way it holds its form and it's still quite moist and gooey inside.
So this is the meaty bundi, which is had with the curry chawal. Some on the side, so you can first taste it.
This is going to be interesting. So is this the way in which you would eat at home?
For weddings, there is a function called kadi chawal for us.
Really?
It's called curry chawal.
So there's a function dedicated to the curry chawal.
Yeah. So in that we have bundi and all that for lunch.
Yeah?
So it's a concept of, life has bitter, salt, sweet, everything. It's a mix.
Ah.
That's
So therefore the bundi.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Just when you feel it's going to be savory, suddenly the sweetness of the bundi kicks in. So would they eat some part of that curry without the bundi and maybe only towards the end?
Yeah.
So I guess that way you're also transitioning to the mitho. What do you call sweet?
Mitho.
Mitho. Oh, not bad. Tukka lagaya maine. I want to get some more of that curry, just the gravy. So out here, the thickening for that curry is basically the gram flour. So they basically temper some light spices, a little bit of the zeera, etc. And then they roast the gram flour in that. And that's really what lends flavor and a bit of thickness to that curry. And now that crunch of that aloo tuk too is quite prominent against the velvety backdrop of that Sindhi curry.
This is the same mithai.
Save mithai.
We make unsalted save in-house and we just mix it in a
Khoa.
mixture of khoa, milk, sugar and some nuts.
Oh, wonderful. And this is called?
Singer ji mithai.
Singer means what?
Singer means save.
Save. And G means?
Singer save.
Save ka mithai. So Singer G mithai.
Yeah.
The save has obviously softened and it has softened into that khoa. So somewhere there is a bit of the flavor that you taste of that besan. But then it is fortified with the ghee. I think I've had this sweet before because is there a very famous shop here that makes it?
Mumbai, Tharu sweets.
Ah, so now I know what it was called. Singarji mithai. That certainly is a gulab jamun that's quite soft. Definitely tasting the richness of the khoa in that. It's also nice and soft. That was nice and interesting. But between the two, my pick is the gulab jamun. There's a sort of sweet ending that you would want after a tasty meal like this. You know, for me, it's heartening to find young chefs who began with something else, but over a period of time have retreated to the comfort of their mother cuisines. In fact, out here it was also nice to meet the moms of both Chef Akhil and Chef Sagar and have a conversation with them about the kind of food that's served in a Sindhi home. I've enjoyed most of the dishes that I've tasted. The dal pakwan, that koki, when I tasted it hot in that kitchen, was delicious. That mutton too was a sort that would definitely beckon me back for more. And for something comforting, I think nothing beats a piping hot Sindhi kadi along with some chawal and that crunch of that aloo tuk. So if you want to taste Sindhi cuisine here in Uru, Bengaluru, definitely find your way to Agni Sagar kitchen here in Seshadripuram. You will find all details and contact numbers in the description below. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, stay strong, and happy eating.
Received. Card payment off.
Yes.
5.
If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on a Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating.